We're beginning a new book, a novel, a comedy, Charming After 5. Chapter 1. We have another one coming in today, Quinn informs her twin sister while pouring herself a glass of orange juice. Isn't this the the fifth accountant this year? Am I right? The men they keep sending me to interview are not working out. However, you should know that, Finn. Also, I might be needing some more days off than usual, so be prepared to fill in for me, Quinn informs her sister. Finn stares into her food, whispering, "Oh, here we go again." She asks, "If I work extra days, can I get some extra spending money then? I'm almost out of paints." Quinn shoots back at Finn. "Our deal is that I provide you with food, housing, and an allowance. Nothing was ever said about getting a raise or an advance. You know what your salary is, and you should plan accordingly. Now, take me to work in the car that I have bought for you." "Where's my blue shirt? No, that's not right. What color will this go with? Maybe pink? That's calming, right? No, that would probably send the wrong first impression. Talking to myself will also. I got to keep that in mind." Jonathan nervously prepares for his first day of work after being unemployed for 6 months. It's a position that fits him like a glove, and he feels lucky to have it. He has all but exhausted his savings. The pressure is on to succeed, but he can't keep paying his rent with his credit cards. He chooses a white shirt and is relieved that it is clean. He tries on 3 suit coats and finally decides on his newest one, the coat he had on initially. Neckties go flying across the room as one after another is rejected. The force in which they are flowing is a definite sign of the pent-up tension that is coursing through Jonathan. "Blue pinstripe, safe enough," he says to himself as he grabs his briefcase. Jonathan emerges from his room out to the hall and glances on the couch in the living room. His best friend since high school, Bernie Noland, has crashed like a beach well. Stains, several days old, stand out on his torn shirt. Jonathan sighs in his direction, but as usual, he swallows the annoyance that he finds in this living situation because he knows how badly his sister had treated Bernie. Bernie had fallen hard for her, even though she was slightly older. He was so deeply hurt when she broke it off that his performance at work cost him his dream job and finally landed Bernie there on Jonathan's couch. Remembering his cell phone, he rushes back to the one and only bedroom in the small apartment. As Jonathan walks back into the living room, he trips over a pile of clothes and hears Bernie stirring. Jonathan sees his friend roll over and go back to sleep, but a huge bag of chips prevents this, so Bernie just angrily punches at it a few times to deflate it and again settles in on the couch. "Isn't there a freaking laundry basket for this mess?" Jonathan sighs. His nerves are making him grouchy this morning. No spare money for laundering. Got to buy the ginger and the basil, that's for sure. Got to have those. But your laundry is not so important, right, Bernie? Bernie is still unconscious of what Jonathan was saying, and so he throws a pillow at Bernie's head. He sits up then suddenly and realizes it's now morning. He remembers what a special day it is and rushes into the kitchen, determined to make his best friend a nourishing breakfast. To his thinking, it will be a great send-off for Jonathan's first day at his new job. Bernie starts slamming pots around in the tiny galley kitchen. Simultaneously, he is attempting to do dishes as he prepares Jonathan a morning feast. But Jonathan again sighs, holds up his cell with the clock clearly visible. "You should have set your alarm again, Burns. I have to be there early. You know how busy the subway is, especially on a Monday morning. I can't take time to eat." "John, you have a full hour before you need to really leave, so you need food to get started off on the right foot. You know what they say about the morning meal being the most important." Yes, Mom, I do. But do you know what they say about a new employee coming in late on the first day? You're fired. Yeah, fired trumps food any day, I guess. Bernie sighs and agrees. He turns back to the frying pan and then swings back around again, slapping a biscuit with egg and cheese oozing on the sides into John's hand. See? You need this. Burns, be careful. Oh no, my shirt. Jonathan can't resist his friend's cooking and goes ahead and takes a bite. Okay, thanks. That's awesome. But I have to go. Hey, new taco rancheros perfectos will be waiting for you this evening when you drag in from that 9 to 5 grind, mi amigo. Okay, thanks, Bern. Jonathan again sighs. He figures more of his dwindling savings is going to go down the drain on another failed recipe or out to those bawling alley cats 3 stories below. Jonathan exits the apartment to sees their nosy next-door neighbor. She has often reminded them that it's a 1-bedroom apartment and it's against the lease to have a friend living there. They know that she's entirely correct. The super would kick both of them out if he knew Jonathan had taken in a boarder to help with the rent. At the very least, they would be charged more money each month. Jonathan races out of the apartment building towards the subway. It's not the perfect situation at all, but an automobile in downtown NYC isn't the best idea either. His other job and apartment were outside the city limits, and his car was the only way to get there. Now, with no money to make the payments, he had to let the car go back. He's on foot again, like he was right out of college. Inside the apartment, Bernie sighs as he leans out the kitchen window to watch Jonathan disappear down the steps of the subway. Happy as can be for his friend, he gets all choked up. Bernie also realizes that he should be out there pounding the pavement. Almost in a whisper, the miserable remark he is thinking slips out of his mouth. The reality is that I'll be right here when you get back, old buddy. Not going anywhere, not doing anything. Well, cooking. Can't get a job at what I do best, though. Now, how depressing is that, I ask you? Bernie turns to his usual morning chore of righting the kitchen. It is just his way of doing things. He will cook up a mess late in the evening, and when no clean dishes are left, he is forced to tackle the kitchen cleanup. Then he will methodically proceed to completely destroy any form of order that he's just accomplished by testing out another new recipe idea that he has in mind. A clean kitchen truly inspires him, so he says, and when hunger overtakes him as well, he whips up several recipes fit for a king. It is the only thing keeping him from being depressed these days, and he is so thankful for his understanding friend. Chapter 2. Downtown New York is bustling with life. It's invigorating at 7:45 a.m. even. Skyscrapers that nearly touch the clouds loom overhead, but no one bothers to notice them. First day jitters have Jonathan all twisted up inside. He sees the train up ahead. About to miss the connection, he dashes through the door a half-second before it closes behind him. Jonathan's heart is pumping due to the excitement of a new office and a new job, and the promise of a paycheck that will right a whole lot of wrongs that he and his friend have made lately with respect to his credit cards. He has time on the ride to work to think how he got there. 3 years before, he had completed college and immediately secured a low-level position with a firm, the owner of which was a friend of his father. Then the economy went sour. Since he was the last one in, he was the first one out. The position had pretty much been created for him, a scratch my back and I'll scratch yours kind of deal between friends of the seniors, but he knew his stuff. He was confident of that, if nothing else. He had corrected the errors in the accounting system there and saved the guy's butt when auditors had come around. That was a definite plus for the owner, though he couldn't afford to keep Jonathan on. A glowing recommendation was the best he could do for him when Westin Mutual called. He is at his stop now, and before he knows it, he is walking inside the building of his new employment. Fourth time at HR, this time to get my badge and then off to the 5th floor to work. His heart doesn't stop racing, though he's walking very slowly. A mere 15 minutes later, with badge in hand, Jonathan pushes his way into the elevator and smiles to all the others crowded inside. The ride to the 5th floor is short. As he steps off the elevator, he sees many cubicles forming a simulated labyrinth. How can they make any sense of this? He asked himself. He can't help but notice everything is gray. Gray desks, gray cubicle walls, gray chairs, gray carpet, even gray ceiling tiles. A different hue of gray, but gray nonetheless. Periodically, heads bob up and down from 5-foot cubicle walls linked together. Employees observing the activities of their co-workers seem more like skittish prairie dogs viewing the terrain, peeking out of assigned holes on a grayish landscape. The furniture decor, being stone-cold gray as well, is also ultra-modern. Nothing looks the least bit comfortable, though. All aspects of this environment appear sterile to Jonathan. Regardless of the decor or the drab color scheme, he has missed the feel of an office. New place to work, new position, new people, new life. Jonathan breathes in deeply. Yes, life is good. Whispers follow him, and office phones begin to ring out, mixed with sounds of a few diligent employees actually working at their keyboards. It's life in a corporate office. Jonathan thinks it's a good way to live. In a corner of the huge rectangular office, Jonathan spies a luscious redhead. Her hair and creamy complexion stand out from the gray terrain like a bright flower in a desert. Jonathan tries to look away, but an invisible pull keeps tugging at his eyes. The redhead's movement has nearly a hypnotic effect on him. Jonathan sighs. How will I ever get any work done with her around? Geesh. His one weakness is red-headed women. He loves that a red-headed woman typically plays hard to get. Jonathan simply loves the challenge. In addition, he loves the color red. Red is energizing, and for Jonathan, that's a win-win when wrapped in a woman. People and objects block her frame, and it frustrates him. The fact that he is distracted also frustrates Jonathan all the more. He isn't focusing on his new position, making a good first impression, or even finding the person he's supposed to speak with. He instead finds himself focused on getting a closer look at her. All he can think of is to stand on a desk and glance high above the half walls to find where she disappeared off to. But of course he doesn't, knowing it wouldn't be right. It would satisfy his immediate frustration, but would definitely label him right off as the freak of the 5th floor. Not a good first impression, new suit jacket or not. She was a beautiful vision at first glance. Now he can only imagine because she has disappeared down some hallway. With only one thought pervading his mind, Jonathan automatically begins to walk that way. It is as if a strong magnet has hold of him and is drawing him closer to her. He turns the corner, and there she is again. His vivid imagination hasn't even done her justice. She enters the door of an office. Jonathan stops and takes a quick inventory of the floor. Offices line the halls, each with glass walls. Some have the blinds drawn, but some are open, and work is in full swing. The higher-ups are in the actual offices with doors. The cinder cubicles must be for their assistants, and even temps maybe, he thinks. He begins to look for the office he is to report to and ends up turning in the wrong direction. People have started to watch him, but no one has asked if he needs help. Instead, they just let him continue to search on his own. He finally makes his way back to where he started and goes down the opposite hallway. He then finds the office. The name on the door is Quinn Herald, Accounting Vice President. Mothers in the late 80s and early 90s tended to give their sons the oddest names so they stand out. He has wished many times that his mom had been a bit more eccentric about his name. He was plagued with a ton of other Jonathans around him while growing up. All this goes through his mind in an instant once he's seen the name Quinn Herald. And Jonathan refocuses and is psyched that it's time to get back to work. As he knocks, the door slowly opens with the pressure of his hand. The door wasn't sealed tightly. He sees the redhead in there. Is she Quinn Herald? Standing there in the doorway, Jonathan is so taken back he almost trips going in. Light shines all around her silhouette from the morning's rays streaming in through the exterior window. It's like a scene from a movie, and the elusive creature is even more breathtaking in shadowy form. He sees that she is with someone, though. Suddenly, Quinn shouts at the girl while poking her numerous times with her pen. And you will do it my way. Don't ever think for yourself. Do you understand? Yes, Miss Herald, I'm so sorry. I understand. He is jolted by her harsh words and even more by her tone. And now, for him, she is slipping off that pedestal he just put her on. He steps back and eyes Quinn more closely. She is wearing a sleek black dress draped over her slender frame. No, she's definitely still up there on that pedestal, he whispered to himself as she dismisses the girl out of her office. Jonathan is frozen in the entrance of her office, not able to help himself from staring. The view is so lovely, he almost gets lightheaded. In tears, Darla attempts to rush past Jonathan. Jonathan steps back and stops her. Are you okay? Darla, with her head down, motions him away from Mrs. Herald's office. No, I am never going to get those pin marks out of my new jacket either. Jonathan makes a weak attempt at empathizing. Yeah, I saw that in there. Not nice. She could have at least had the courtesy to keep that stupid pin closed when she stabbed me like that. So, does this happen a lot? Jonathan questions the girl. Oh yeah, it's her main source of ridicule. She puts employees in their place while simultaneously ruining their clothes. Darla tugs at her jacket. Corporate should give us a clothing allowance for this kind of abuse. They probably don't even know, though. No one has the guts to face up to Miss Herald. Darla cries. Oh, so she is the boss on this floor? The realization is starting to sink in for Jonathan. Unfortunately, yes, she's the accounting vice president, the boss. But don't make that mistake of calling her that, though. Not to her face, Darla warns. And you are, Jonathan asks, Darla Roberts, assistant to Miss Herald. Well, Darla Roberts, nice to meet you. I'm Jonathan Waters. I was just hired on as the account supervisor. Is she always this tough? Jonathan figures he's early, so a few investigative minutes won't matter all that much, and he stepped back from the doorway of her office and pushed the door closed just a bit. But he has to know what and whom he's about to face inside that office. He hopes Quinn hadn't seen him about to enter her door. Darla breaks into his thoughts. Of course you wouldn't know. How could you? First day and all. Give her a month, then you'll see. See what? Jonathan is confused. You'll see that Darla's voice tapers off as she hears a door shut. Okay, we'll talk later. Jonathan looks towards the door of Quinn Herald's office. If it were any other office, even a dentist office right now, he'd feel a lot more at ease about entering it. Hey, he stops Darla before she can walk away. How does she like her lattes? Darla looks at him up and down. What's it to you? I get them for her. Well, I'd just like to know. Please, tell me. Jonathan looks at her with his big puppy dog eyes that many have fallen for over the years. Darla again looks at him and smiles approvingly. No problem, Jonathan. Black, with a double shot of espresso and 3 sugars. Doesn't help to sweeten her up any, though. At least I don't think so. She steps back but feels sorry for him and adds, Listen, just do your job, nothing more. I'm warning you. She turns to leave, knowing he won't last there probably even 3 months. He's perturbed that she didn't finish her earlier warning. He sighs. Not such a great start to my first day after all. Jonathan checks the time and it's 8:50 a.m. He is still early and wonders if he should head in or wait until 9. He looks in the glass wall and sees Quinn sitting at her desk on a call. She turns in her chair with her back to Jonathan like he is invisible. To make certain this is the right office, he looks down again and pulls out the note stuffed in his shirt pocket. It definitely reads Quinn Herald, 9 a.m., office 500. He takes notice of how orderly her desk and office are as he adjusts his tie and waits for her to finish her call. Jonathan feels sweat beat up on the surface of his forehead, though, from not knowing what to do next exactly. Do I knock? Do I just stand here? He decides he's going to wait a few minutes more. She turns and sees him through the glass wall and motions with her pen for him to enter the room. She hushes him while holding the phone up high in the air for emphasis. Quinn speaks so low he can't make out any words of the conversation. She finishes the call 3 seconds later. She turns her large lavender swivel chair, the only spot of color in her gray office, besides her black desk. Quinn looks down for a second, locating just the right spot to rest her elbows on the steel-edged glass desk. "Well," she says. "Well, hello." He is much more informal than he should be with the new boss, and his voice has slipped down an octave, more like Joey from Friends. Big mistake. Her eyes narrow. He shakes his head at the horrible first impression. Jonathan refuses to keep looking her in the eye. Jonathan Waters, at your service, an accounting major with a minor in business." "I'm sorry," Quinn interrupts. "Is there a human resource sign on my door?" "I don't conduct interviews, you know." "Oh, excuse me," Jonathan stammers. "That wasn't a, well, tell me about yourself. That was a just, well," Quinn states. "Oh, I see. Well," she says again. "Excuse me?" Jonathan is now getting flustered. "Oh, please." Quinn is beyond frustrated with him. No response comes forth from Jonathan. He isn't sure of anything at this point. His voice freezes up along with his brain, and she waits, looking him up and down. She huffs impatiently. Then he sighs and can almost be heard whining a little bit. Should I speak?" With her pen in hand clicking away, Quinn throws her arms up in a huff, and that's when he notices she actually writes notes all the way up her slender arm. He smiles, so she's not so perfect. That puts him somewhat at ease. Then she frowns. "I strongly suggest that one of us speaks. I'll begin since you have totally bungled this introduction. I've been expecting you, and I've assigned you a back office. It's quiet back there. Not a lot of chit-chat, no foot traffic. It's a private office, not a large one, not like mine, of course, but it has a window." "Well, thank you." Jonathan is relieved to know that he has something to say, and to say the right thing. "Why thank me? You haven't even seen it yet," Quinn counters. "True. May I move to another if I don't like it then?" And he slips into the casual mode again, not realizing it. "Oh, you are a funny man," Quinn says dryly. "Excuse me, ma'am?" Jonathan asks. "Do you have a personal problem, Mr. Walters? You keep excusing yourself. I suggest that you... well, never mind." What? Jonathan inquires. "Nothing." Quinn is definitely not impressed by him. He moves on. "Is there room in my office for my assistant?" "That would be much more convenient. I was told I'd have an assistant, and it looks like the assistants all have cubicles out there in the inner office area." She stares him down like he's got a lot of nerve. "I've got that covered." Jonathan holds up his hands in a form of unspoken surrender and lowers his head. She isn't amused. "Sarcasm is not well received here, Mr. Waters. As I was saying, I'll appoint your assistant. If your assistant number 1 doesn't work for you, then a number 2 will be assigned. After 3 assistants, we will have to assume the problem lies with you. Do we have an understanding?" No, I don't think so." Jonathan is trying to decipher what she just said. "Then allow me to make it painfully clear for you. I'm granting you every opportunity to prove yourself here, and if after you've gone through a 3rd assistant, we have exhausted enough time and resources incorporating you into this team At that point in your employment, we will be forced to reevaluate your position with this company. In my experience, it most never works out past the first 3 months and 3 assistants, and definitely not after 6 months tops. Now, did I make myself easily understood this time? Definitely. I am certain 1 assistant is all I will need, though. She laughs as if he has told a joke. I mean to say I would not need multiple assistants. He is getting flustered as he turns as if to leave, and then thinks again and says, "Can we start over? Good morning, I'm Jonathan Waters. I see that you have my paperwork on your desk right there, and here is the envelope from HR." Quinn shakes her head. "So, HR has shoved another idiot up to this floor for me to deal with." She begins to review his paperwork on her desk, ignoring him. Jonathan is at a loss for words after those words of hers. He has no idea where to take the conversation from there. She has been condescending, rude, and demeaning, and he's been in her presence less than 20 minutes. She surprisingly offers him a second chance to redeem himself, though. "Do you have anything else to add to this resume, Mr. Waters?" He laughs. Quinn looks up from reading. Again, she's not amused by her accounting pun, however feeble it was. "Not to my resume, but yes, in general, I would like to say that I am very excited to be working here and thank you for this opportunity." What an optimistic fella. How refreshing. Her words were dripping with sarcasm. Thank you. Jonathan is at this point even afraid to thank her almost. "Well, we'll just have to wait and see about you, won't we?" He screws up his face in a scowl. He seriously doubts after this interaction and her interrogation that he will ever be able to hold a normal conversation with this woman. Jonathan frowns in defeat to think he actually thought she'd be as physically drawn to him as much as he is to her. Quinn shifts through his paperwork again. "It's a slight resume at best, I think. What did you say?" He doesn't respond but makes a mental note that time on the job will show her that he's her man for the accounting position, if for nothing else. His mind goes trailing off in another direction. She stands. Thinking he may have missed something she said, he stammers, "Oh, excuse me again? Would you repeat that? You really should see someone about that problem you have." "It might be psychological." Jonathan sighs. He's embarrassed and angry at the same time. "Concerning the company, the politics here are its employees. I have been here over 5 years. I will tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. Is that clear, Mr. She looks down at his resume. "It's Walters, Jonathan Walters." Quinn starts for the door. As she passes Jonathan, her heel snags the carpet and she trips a little. Jonathan reaches out to grab her. "Whoops, there we go. Is that better?" She only glares at Jonathan with a look that means certain death to him for causing her this awkward and slightly personal moment. Through clenched teeth, she sneers, "Get your hands off of me, Walters." "Please, refer to me by my first name. Jonathan is perfectly fine. And may I refer to you as..." Jonathan again tries the casual approach. Quinn straightens her suit jacket. "Miss Herald, I am." "All right, then." Jonathan steps ahead with the intent to open the door for her. Great start to the day. His sarcasm is rubbing off. With her hand on the door frame blocking their path, Quinn pulls open the door before he can do the gentlemanly thing to assist her. Jonathan stands there and has to wait. She just walks in front of him, then not bothering to turn around. "I'll show you the way to your office." They begin the long walk past several cubicles down the back hall. People are completely enthralled with their duties. Heads appear, but only after Miss Herald has passed by. Her intoxicating perfume makes it easy to clue in on her comings and goings. Jonathan is happy to follow after her, though. Office phones and keyboards begin to sound off. Quinn smiles. She knows the drill of the office, but chooses to ignore it right now. Darla and Lauren Reynolds stand by the coffee station. They get a good look at Jonathan. Lauren has dated most of the eligible men there at Westin Mutual. Lauren fans herself and walks by. Oh my, did you see him? Jonathan pretends not to notice their obvious oogling, but a little satisfied smile does slip from his lips. Darla sighs disgustedly at her co-worker. Get a life, why don't you, Lauren? Lauren defends her prowess. Easy for you to say, you're already with someone. Jonathan and Quinn enter his office. So, this is it? He looks around. This is it. Your first assistant will be in shortly. Quinn says nothing more. She turns and leaves abruptly. Jonathan looks out the window and frowns at the sight. There are lower rooftops that have ugly rusted AC units laboring away, complete with a constant but muffled humming noise. Nice blinds, at least. I'll certainly make good use of these. He adjusts them to let in the sunlight but not the view, and then he stands by his desk and waits. We'll continue with the fiction novel, Charming After 5, Chapter 3, in the next video reading.